So maybe we just start our dome talk and see if somebody will join us in the next 1 hour or 1.5 hours. But we are some people here and we can start to talk. We just brought the dome to Spain in the cooperation with an art project, Camino-Revolta, and 2 years ago there was a big conference here, the Global Forum on Modern Direct Democracy, and this is why we have the connection to San Sebastian, and this is why we are here with our dome, European Public Sphere. And we also have Sonia here from an organization called eCivics, and she lived in, where do you live?
Getxo.
Yeah, and probably you take the microphone.
In Getxo.
And you will help us.
It's okay, no?
No,
It's okay, you just have to like this.
Okay, like this. Okay.
You can translate for our guests who only speak Spanish.
¿Tú entiendes que es inglés?
Yeah.
Vale, okay.
Yeah, and you can translate, and this is very good for us to hear also the Spanish language.
Okay.
So you can explain a little bit what I told now.
Proyecto que dice que es el proyecto Camino-Revolta.
And speak loud.
El proyecto es, ha explicado un poco el proyecto, que es Camino-Revolta, es el camino de Santiago al revés, digamos, para recoger experiencias sobre Europa. Y el evento se hace en San Sebastián porque hace 2 años hubo un encuentro de la organización que monta todo esto. Y bueno, así conocieron esto de San Sebastián y por eso lo celebran aquí. Y nada, luego me ha presentado a mí, que soy de Civis, soy de Getxo y sin más.
Hello. You want to sit here? Hello. Do you speak English or do you need translation? No. That's fine. Yeah, I just make the explanation why we are here with our dome to speak about Europe. Sonia from eCivic will help us translate a little bit. Maybe you can also help us translating. This is what Europe is like, many languages, and we have to make improvisation with each other. And maybe we can start with a very basic question. What do you think Europe, the future of Europe, the future of living together in our European society needs most in the next years? So if you want to start or you want to start as our guest, we are very happy that you just came in under our dome. And maybe you, and I say one thing first, we make a documentation for our website because we want to spread the ideas that people have to everybody who wants to hear about it. Probably yes. But
we can block that, it's no problem. If you don't want, yeah. Yeah, we can, so you can write your name on a paper. Is it okay if your voice is maybe in it? If you say something interesting, we can write down your ideas or your voice. Okay.
Ja, so du brauchst sie gar nicht filmen, ja?
No, it won't. Yeah, so
no, it's no problem. He will not film you. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
no
I
problem.
write my name.
Yeah, and you
su
can
nombre
have the
en
microphone.
el cuaderno.
Yeah.
But is this just about you said before about different countries and things, but can I talk about, I don't know if it's related to the European Union, but okay. I want to ask if I think that the European Union has been doing a lot of things, a lot of good things, because it has a new how is it called?
You can say it also in Spanish.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, the European Union exists and is about countries united, but still countries sometimes do what they want, and I was wondering if there can be done a law that, for example, because at the moment I am worried about the public water supply, because, for example, here the public water is fluoridated, and the public water supply is fluoridated, and in the 98% of the European countries it's not fluoridated. And for example, in the United States it's mostly fluoridated. And there are some risks, some health risks, and I've had some problems that I believe are because of fluoridation. And I wonder if the European Union can do something about it, like if it regulates,
Vale. O sea, la
the
Unión
water
Europea
supply, or
ya sabes que
if
tiene
it's just
regulaciones, digamos,
each country does
supranacionales
what
de
they want.
determinados temas que muchos no conocemos, ¿no? Entonces
I don't
dice
know,
que
it's
con el
strange
tema
what
del
I'm
suministro de
saying,
agua pública, pues bueno, que a ver si existe algún tipo de
it's something
regulación a
that
nivel
worries me.
europeo, a nivel europeo, pues que se tenga que seguir, pues para que el agua que tenemos en casa, pues que sea saludable.
Fluoride, they are adding fluoride in some parts of Spain, like in the Basque Country, for example, and in other countries like in Ireland or in some parts of the UK, but in all of the European Unions they are not doing it. And I wonder who is behind it, if it's the European Union, if it's not, if it's each country. Okay, nobody knows, okay.
Does anybody know something about this problem from you? But
No, nothing about public water, no, I don't know.
But I think this is also a question, for example, for a European democracy. What you ask, for example, the quality of water, or to have good water in all over Europe, and you are afraid, or you are worried about that the different countries have different standard, and so this is maybe a question. There was a European citizens initiative about the right to water, and this is, for example, this is a very good example to have such a question. How we can have the good water to everybody. But Daniela want to say something.
Yeah, I'm not a water expert, so I don't know about this exactly, but I think especially with the level of fluoride, this is probably up to the member states to decide. So this is something then you should contact your member of parliament, then so you can push for this if you have strong opinions.
There are a lot of people contacting them, but nobody answers.
Yeah, exactly. But the point that Gerhard just brought up, that there was a European Citizens Initiative just on this, about water safety, water quality, and how do we run water also. They reached over 1 million signatures. It was the first to make it, with so many signatures that they submitted in Brussels. And this is what exactly the citizens demanded. They want more transparency where water laws are concerned and water policies. And so far the European Commission, who is making those laws, this is missing. They didn't do that. So they came up with a new, it's called the EU Water Directive, and it's some standards how you should meet some water more in rural areas, for example in Eastern Europe, where there's high levels of poverty and more poor people, how some level of water that they need to reach safety. But it doesn't cover everything, like for example the fluoride question that the original organizers wanted. So this is the problem. Citizens want this, we want to talk about this, and then the EU is ignoring a lot of these important questions. Something like water, the environment, it affects us every day of every life, so for everybody. So yeah, this is it's a small question, part of a big picture also, because why is this missing? This is something that we want to know. Where's the water quality coming from? What is in the water? Yeah, but it's a good point.
Yeah, welcome to our Dome talk. Do you speak English?
Yeah, poquito.
Sorry, yeah. We have also translation. If we.
I speak perfectly good English.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and we are talking about the future of Europe under this dome. We travel with this dome all over Europe, We just start this initiative, European Public Sphere, and we want to talk to the people in this 20 people maximum, but we want to spread it to all over Europe. We want to build a European public sphere, or help building a European public sphere. That's why we are also make a documentation on our discussions, and we want to make the excerpt of what ideas are about Europe, and we bring them to the European public, to the European Parliament, but also to other people, and try to find out what Europe should be in future. This is why we are here in San Sebastian.
Isn't it just about collaborating with each other?
Collaborate. Can you give the microphone, or
Yep.
Daniela?
It's just about collaboration instead of competition. And in America, we've learned the opposite, to compete, and it's not so good. But if everyone would learn to, I have a company called Hand Up, so I believe that if I give you a hand up, and then you give her a hand up, not a hand out, but a hand up, and then I need help, then they're required to help me because I've given them a hand up. And so, but if I just lay on the floor and don't use my legs to help myself to get up, or they do the same, they can pull me down. So it has to be a give and take. You can't give everything, and you can't expect anything without doing something for someone nice. And I think that if everyone would hug more and work together and collaborate, we could grow the whole world a better place, and then we could be done with this strife. It's easy. We just have to treat each other like, start hugging more often.
Yeah.
Serious, I'm not kidding. And then collaborate, help each other up. Don't expect someone to do something for you, or don't do it for yourself and not help somebody else. It's easy.
But you see, this dome structure is like we want to collaborate. We want to work together. It's connecting.
Well, that's why you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna win.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know so. If you continue to collaborate, you will win.
Yeah.
The ones that work together will absolutely win. And everybody else has taught us to compete and not demand or give away and not expect. I think you definitely do not give strangers or beggars money, but I think people drawing on the ground or playing music, absolutely, they're doing something for me. But I'm not going to give a beggar any money until I feel that he's willing to do something nice for me, which is music. So I'll go over and give that guy money, but I won't give a beggar any money. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I will help you, but when I need help, I need your help. I just need your help, and that's it. Any questions?
Yes, probably there are some questions.
Yeah, no, I have a comment because I'm also American, actually from Michigan, and I think a lot of the problems where we have a lot of similarities, problems here in Europe and problems in the U.S., and that's because we kind of stopped talking to each other. We were just kind of, we have different viewpoints, let's not go there, let's not talk about the hard questions, and let's not talk about politics, and you just kind of kept it close with yourself. So then you always just stayed in your own same circle, and you didn't open up your mind to talk to people who are different with you. And the same thing happened in the U.S. For years. It was a trend, and the same thing in Europe. But now with the internet and social media, it's much easier to talk to each other, and that's a little bit what we're doing here. Is we're bringing people, even if you have a different opinion, if you don't like the EU, that's okay. Tell us why, and we want to bring those ideas and those questions then to the next EU Parliament next year. We want to get the ideas from the bottom up from the citizens, and we want to deliver them next year. So we need to get talking. I think that's step number one. We need to start talking again with people who have same mindsets.
What do they have to say though that are European? Because you and I believe the same, but do they believe the same? They're the Europeans, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think what we can all agree with is that we can open our minds to just talk to each other and ask the hard questions. So this dome specifically, this is now there will be European Parliament elections next year. And so we want to get the discussion going on what direction should Europe go starting now. We don't want to wait until it's too late.
Tell them to collaborate. Who knows to tell them to collaborate? That's exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Don't expect something if you're not willing to help somebody else. Especially if I do a project and I am, like right now we're taking the food waste from the casinos and we're taking 800 tons of food that gets wasted a day in the casinos because we have all these big buffets. So they goes into the trash, but instead now we take it from the trash and we're putting it into an anaerobic digester and it's creating power, and we're taking the power from the food that's wasted, and we're powering the school buses and the metro buses. And then we take the water that we just created and we grow food.
Yeah.
So it's a perpetuating full circle, no waste, but you have to have food and animals pooping so that you can get water and power back. So it's just not one way, it's a full circle.
Yeah.
So
it's a full cycle. So yeah.
Anyway. Anyone question about that?
I have a question. Was sagst du? Ist doch wurscht. Ist egal. I have the question. If you think we need this idea of cooperation and sharing and, I don't know the English word, giving and give and get, is it right? Yeah.
It's cooperation.
Cooperation, yeah.
Co-op.
But probably there are different levels to differentiate different levels. For example, if we are in the European Union, 28 member states, and we want to make the laws and the constitution, the treaties of the framework, how we work together, we need this cooperation for in a democratic way. So the democratic cooperation or the democratic working together, connecting, is another typus than working together on a local level in economy. And also, but I think we also need a cooperative economy all over the world, not only in the neighborhood or something like this. So we need cooperation and working together and networking and democracy on all levels. And I think this is what needs a lot of new ideas and a lot of new, very concrete also processes how to find what we want to do. It's easy. For example, it's easy if we two people, we decide what we want to do this afternoon. But if we want to decide what the whole community wants to do for the next years, maybe the parliament is not enough in a modern democracy. We need more, we need other forms of democracy to connect and cooperate on a whole European level. And this is what I want to give to your discussion or to your question.
Well, are you asking me to answer?
No, it's for the whole circle, but it was what you said inspired me to say this.
Yeah. Well, I remember a movie they made about it, which is kind of like that, but it kind of went bad. So it was when it was I think it was called the Hunger Games or something, where the people were had certain things that they did. That maybe isn't the best way to do that. What you need to do is find a dome like this that everyone here wants to cooperate, but I'm not really good at cooking. So, but maybe you're really good at cooking. So we could actually join this group, because I'm not so good, but I'm good at solving problems. So I'm a good solving problems, and maybe this guy's really good at engineering. So, but you wouldn't want everyone in our group to be just engineers. You would want a cook and a problem solver and an engineer inside the group, and then you have these groups of people that all get have something to give, so it's not like anyone's left out. We all have to do our part, and then you send one of those people, representatives, to a area that has everyone's best interest, and you start there. So you start in small groups, and you go into bigger groups, and then you never get to only one person. You're never ever give one person all the. You have one person that has a board of directors, and the board of directors makes the decision. And when you have enough people making the decision for the whole group, but he never makes the decision, or she never makes the decision unless there's a problem, and then it's not just she or he, it's she and two others. So 3 other people have a higher reason for making that decision. So it's never one person making the decision.
Yeah.
And you could grow these little pods and just make sure you have different people in them, different races, different colors, so we all have to get along. And you could have families, different families. You could start it and see what happens. And then what's the worst case scenario is you hang out with some really cool people that want to collaborate.
But I think there are different kind of groups. There are smaller groups, and there are also the group of 500 million Europeans. And they also have to find ways to work together.
Hug more.
Hug more, okay.
Start there, because everything else, you guys already kiss a lot, but hug, because when you give a hug, if I give him a hug, that's not so good, but if he hugs me back, you want a hug? Would you like a hug? See, look, this is no fun. That's no fun, but this. See, I got a hug and she got a hug.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
So hug more. Okay.
Where are you from?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I just have to find my kids.
Okay.
I don't know where they're at.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Que hay que colaborar, pues básicamente insistir en la idea de la colaboración.
You can take this one with your English and Spanish.
Ver un poco los puntos fuertes, los puntos débiles de cada uno y ponerlo en común, pero él decía que claro, que a nivel individual, a nivel local, es muy fácil, pero cuando pones 2 millones de personas en Europa, es complicado, hay que buscar fórmulas. Y luego ya decía eso, ¿no? Que al final el que decide no es uno, son varios, entonces bueno.
Sonia, do you want to bring something in?
Well, I think about the future of Europe.
We have to speak as loud as possible.
Do you listen to me?
This is just for the video. It's not the.
Vale, do you listen to me? Because. Do you listen to me or?
I listen to you.
Yes. Okay.
I don't have a card. Sorry.
It's okay. You can send me an email.
I gave my last card out to some people that wanted it. They asked me if I wanted to get it back.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So this is only for the video. It's not. Don't makes it louder.
Okay.
So we have to speak as loud as possible.
Esto da igual, que esto es para el vídeo, que tengo que hablar alto, vamos, que si no me oyen. Vale. Well, I think. Talking about the future of Europe, I think one very important thing is education. Because I don't know what happens in other countries, for example in Germany, but for example in Spain, nobody in the education, in different educational levels, knows anything about Europe, about European Union, about what was Europe before the Union, and how could be Europe without European Union. I think the idea of the cost of the no Europe is an important reflection, so people could think about what we really have now with European Union. I think it's very important because in our association, in ECBs, last year we make some workshops in schools in Getxo with people between 13 and 16, and the results were fantastic. People didn't know what the European Union was, and after the workshops they wanted to know more about. and they, for example, get to know that I don't know, in the toys we have a level in the toys for children. There are a level of the security of that toy. This level of security is an idea of the European Union. Is because of the legal basis of the European Union, and so I think education is one of the bases of the future. In order to fight against populism, xenophobia, racism, and all kind of things.
Can you also say it in Spanish and also loud so we can listen to Spanish?
No, que estaba diciendo que un aspecto muy importante que creo que es necesario para hablar del futuro. Vale. Que creo que es necesario para hablar del futuro de Europa es la educación, porque eso, no sé lo que pasa en otros países de Europa, en Alemania por ejemplo, pero en España la educación sobre la Unión Europea es nula. O sea, nadie sabe, no voy a decir los mayores, pero los niños más pequeños no saben lo que había antes de que existía la Unión Europea, y los adultos no saben qué es lo que puede pasar si dejara de existir la Unión Europea. No somos conscientes de la cantidad de cosas que tenemos en nuestra vida cotidiana que existe y son posibles gracias a que existe la Unión, ¿no? Y nada, comentaba un par de proyectos que hemos hecho en la asociación, que hicimos el año pasado unas charlas en centros escolares sobre la Unión Europea con niños y niñas entre 13 y 16 años, hablando un poco de la Unión Europea a un nivel muy simple, pero que el resultado fue fantástico porque, pues por ejemplo, las etiquetas de seguridad de los juguetes, pues eso gracias a una normativa europea, y eso no lo conocían. Y ahora, pues bueno, pues fueron cosas muy sencillas, o por ejemplo las cajas de los cereales que eran de la agricultura ecológica con el label también de, pues eso, de las directivas comunitarias que lo regulan, y todo eso no lo conocían. Entonces creo que la educación es muy importante como base, y también para luchar pues contra el populismo, la xenofobia, el racismo, que de alguna manera es lo que rompe el eje, ¿no? Lo que sustenta la idea de Europa.
Do you want to say something or?
¿Qué opino del futuro? Bueno, la verdad que no sé qué opinar, porque lo veo todo tan raro, los países separándose, países que ya no quieren estar en la Unión Europea. Veo muchas diferencias. Hemos tenido ahora una crisis de 10 años, que los países del sur hemos pagado muy caro esta crisis. Hay gente que se ha quedado en el camino y Europa ha reaccionado tarde.
Probably sentence by sentence.
He's saying that he's confused about what can happen with the future of Europe. A ver, me lío con el micrófono. He's very confused because, for example, United Kingdom has left European Union. Many countries are thinking of leaving. Moreover, the economic crisis has long about more of 10 years, and the countries in the south of Europe has had to pay a very high cost because of this. Many people has still suffering from the consequences of the crisis. So he's not very optimistic about the future.
But, or you want to say something more?
Si quieres decir algo más.
No, de momento no. No sé qué. Es que no me.
You can speak also in Spanish.
Vale, yes. Okay, I will try to translate sentence by sentence. Voy a intentar traducir cada frase. Here it says that if I say this, you can record me. It's okay.
Yeah, you can record you. With the camera.
Yeah.
That's fine, thank you.
Because I read here that you ask what can be a sustainable way for economy and for having money in Europe and maintaining it. O sea, aquí pone que a ver cuál puede ser una forma sostenible de la economía y del dinero para Europa. And I think that if we want to have a sustainable way of living for Europe, first of all, in every decision Europe makes, there should be somebody who worries about the environment. And creo que en todas las decisiones que haga la Unión Europea debería haber alguien por lo menos que se preocupe del medio ambiente. And I think that the environment is very important because we should preserve it, and I think we are missing our opportunity to preserve it because soon there will be no way to go back, and it will be too late. And I think that if we don't preserve the environment soon, we are not going to be able to stay here any longer. Creo que si no preservamos el medio ambiente, dentro de poco no vamos a estar nadie aquí. And I think that people don't worry about it because they think it's something that is going to happen later on. But I think people should worry about it because it will affect them too. Even if they don't realize, their future generations will not be able to live here. And if we want to have a sustainable way of living for the economy, we should do renewal. We should ¿cómo se dice? Reciclar. We should recycling, no? Recycle. So we should recycle. We should, for example, use seawater for gardening and for watering plants. We should do things that people are not doing right now, and we should use wood, for example, like this dome, to build buildings instead of using aluminium or other very super expensive, if you want to save money, and unuseful materials that are destroying the earth.
Pero insiste en eso, que no se trata solo de ganar por ganar, sino que tienes que tener una visión más larga.
No, I'm really happy you brought that up, and today is actually Earth Day, as you probably know, so it's the perfect time to even have this. Yeah, it's International Earth Day, so it's Earth Day today, yes, and I think even despite all of our differences and the differences in the cultures that we have across Europe and the differences in language, this is the one thing that can bring us together, is that we live on one Earth, and that we have one common problem that we need to solve that is caused by us, and that we need to solve it together. So putting aside all the differences, I think this is what it can always come down to. This is how we can make the EU even strong. Let's make really strong environmental policies that put us leading the world, so that we can lead the world in all environmental policies, from water to more green areas, to sustainable materials that we use, to leading the world in recycling. I think that's the future, and this is an industry that's just growing and developing, and I think it will be a missed opportunity for the EU also if they don't invest as much as possible into this. And it's a great way to also bring a lot of Europeans together, because it's a common problem that we can all share. So.
Can somebody translate this, what Daniela said, a little bit?
Más o menos. Pues un poco en la línea que ha dicho la compañera, que no sé cómo se llama, que pues eso, pues que un desarrollo económico sostenible que tiene que, me corrige si no, pero bueno, que tiene que ser un desarrollo económico sostenible real, no quedarse solo en las palabras, sino que el medio ambiente debería ser un must, o sea, debería ser algo incuestionable en cualquier legislación y en cualquier planteamiento económico, y que a nivel mundial y en concreto en el caso de la Unión Europea no se está apoyando lo suficiente la investigación, no se está trabajando lo suficiente pues eso, para la cuestión medioambiental, y que yo creo que no se es consciente del impacto real que tiene en nuestro futuro y en la economía en sí, más o menos, ¿no?
But maybe we should think a little bit about how this question, for example, education and economy, fits or is connected to this environment question. So maybe we can
eso, está comentando que cómo se vincula la economía y la educación pues con la cuestión medioambiental, de qué manera se puede relacionar.
And also the democracy question.
Y también pues eso, desde el punto de vista de la democracia.
How are these questions connected with each other?
¿Cómo podemos conectar todas estas cuestiones?
Because if we have an economy only orientated to the profit motive.
Eso, si tenemos una economía únicamente basada en el objetivo de conseguir un beneficio,
there will be always the economic question will not be fulfilled. Yeah, the economic question will not be fulfilled if the profit motive is always the highest decision, the highest question we have to think about.
Eso que eso, que que el objetivo de la economía no debería ser solamente eso, el objetivo económico como el principal, sino que debería haber otros, ¿no?
And also the education question. If the people are not educated and not in the possibility to think about new ideas and have a good perspective it's also, I think these questions are connected to each other, and I may be interested what you think about this and the democracy question. Daniela?
A quick comment. I think in the end it all comes down to education, actually, because you use education to raise public awareness about something, so that's how you can get both sides of a question, both sides of a topic, but you also use education to raise the public interest. So without education you don't have the interest of the public, because they won't know, they won't be educated on something, and this is what we were missing also with Brexit, is that we didn't have the right information going out to the people. It was a lot of one-sided and very tricky questions that I think the public didn't have time to answer and to debate in the right way. It's the problem of the information that's out there. We don't have the education. The people are not educated enough that they can take information and think about it really critically. Is this right? How should I approach this now? And so I think it all comes down to education, and also with environment. Our generation, it's easy to make the environment question that we feel really connected to it, but for older generations it's not such a critical time right now. They think that's 50 years, 100 years down the line, but it will be in their lifetime, and it will be definitely in our lifetime, and I think we all need to take the responsibility for it, but it all comes down to education, because that's how you can get public interest, and when people they don't know about a topic, they won't care about a topic. It's really, that's the simple, that's human nature. So.
Vale, bueno, básicamente ha dicho que realmente está todo interconectado, y que en el caso de la educación, pero que no se me olvide nada, que en el caso de la educación no es tanto solo educar, sino educar con un espíritu crítico, o sea, que la gente cuando recibe la información sepa realmente discriminar lo que le están contando que es verdad y lo que están contando que es mentira, tener una capacidad de opinar de manera consciente. Y luego en el tema del medio ambiente ha comentado que bueno, que las nuevas generaciones pues están más sensibilizadas, y resulta para ellos más sencillo pues intentar construir pues eso, propuestas que favorezcan el respeto al medio ambiente, pero que otras generaciones pues tampoco lo han vivido porque han tenido otras prioridades, y entonces pues para ellos no es tan importante.
Hombre, yo quería decir que el consumismo tiene mucho que ver en esto, porque podemos pensar que que la economía es más verde, pero lo que estamos haciendo es trasladar el problema a otros países tercermundistas, porque en principio es que la educación tiene que ser que no seamos tan consumistas, porque si estamos cambiando de Niki cada mes, en otros países se está contaminando con tintes y con muchas cosas y nosotros no somos conscientes. Entonces que todo también es un poco, la base es la educación del consumismo, no sé, y de otras muchas cosas, pero que el problema es que trasladamos nuestros problemas a otros países.
Sí. That one problem is the ¿cómo se dice? Consumism. Yes, the consumism. Perhaps in European Union we are looking for a green economy, but perhaps what we are doing really is to take the problem to another countries. He's telling us one example. For example, we are used to change our clothes every month. Every month we are going to the shop and buy another clothes. But what we are doing with that is that in other countries the contamination, the pollution is growing up. So the problem is the same. The only difference is that we have not so much pollution as in other countries.
But it's going to come
Yes,
to us
yes.
because we are all part of the same earth.
Pelota,
So, yes.
o sea, que aunque no lo tengas tú te acaba llegando.
Yes, I also think that if the main problem here is consumism, and if we don't consume so much, is going. If we recycle, we are not going to waste so much money, and we are not going to need so much money, and the economy will grow, I think, because, or if we try to find new ways to build or to create alternative energy, renewable energies, or whatever, if we think in new ways, our economy is going to grow. The economy of Europe is going to grow, and maybe other countries will copy us, or we can sell our ideas, or I don't know. But if we try to create new things instead of, I think I'm losing the point, but like on one side, if we try to create new ideas, we are going to improve the economy. On the other side, if we stop consuming so much things from other countries where they are polluting, of course, if we create our own energy sources or our own clothes, our own foods, whatever, is going to be better, because we will not have all the cost of the transport coming from China with the clothes or whatever, and that pollutes too. Yeah, I think the main problem is consumism too. Sí, creo que el consumismo es la raíz de los problemas, o sea, si... A ver.
Con eso volvemos otra vez a la educación.
Claro.
We return again to the education problem.
I think that
you can educate people in not to consume every day with the Wii, the iPhone, the tal.
Yeah.
Perhaps people could change their mind.
Y se puede unir lo de reciclaje con consumismo. Es que al final es lo mismo. O sea, si no consumimos, si reciclamos los recipientes de comida, no tirarlos a la basura, que luego hay que reciclarlos, que el plástico tarda 200 años en degradarse, pues no sé, si hacemos todo como más antiguamente, volvemos a las raíces, igual se puede mejorar algo, que tampoco sé si ya estamos muy adelantados y ya no se puede mejorar. There are people who say that we are already very far away from the point of recovering the earth, and we are very I don't know how it's called. You know the hypothesis of Gaia? Okay. What were you going to say?
That we reached a point, the point of no return.
The point of no return. But I think we still have an opportunity of at least trying to learn how to live in a polluted world or something. I don't know.
Estamos acostumbrados a vivir en un mundo contaminado.
We are talking here about the future of Europe, and
dice que estamos hablando sobre el futuro de Europa. ¿Qué opinión tienes?
We travel with this dome all over Europe.
Sí, bueno, la cúpula esta es un poco un símbolo, una metáfora, porque no son 4 pilares y el tejado, sino que todo sostiene todo. O sea, la colaboración de cada uno de los pilares estos de madera, pues hace que no se caiga el resto, ¿no? Entonces un poco la metáfora de cómo sería construir Europa, ¿no?
Que he venido más a escuchar y aprender y hablar.
She says she has come in here to learn more to speak.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I want to say something about these 2 questions. You can always translate sentence by sentence, I think.
Que sigamos hablando del tema, dice. I don't know how to say more, what to say more about this.
I want to say something about these 2 questions. Probably the social question in a global sense.
Que dice que quiere hablar un poco más de este tema desde el punto de vista del aspecto social.
You were talking about
social y económico.
Sí, el aspecto social, todo lo que hemos comentado, el consumismo.
And the environment question, it's another question.
Sí, o sea, tú estás hablando más del aspecto social, pues eso, que al final trasladamos el problema a otros países, no sé qué, pero ella está hablando más de una cuestión más...
And I think this is very important to have a local economy.
Que dice que eso, que es importante tener una economía local.
But we live in a very globalized society.
Pero vivimos una sociedad muy globalizada.
And this is also a reality.
Y eso que es la realidad, vamos, que es lo que hay.
And for this is what you said. It's important to find a way to global solidarity.
Eso que lo que comentabas es que buscar la manera de
and for
plantear
example,
soluciones de una solidaridad global.
Maybe Goodbye. Maybe Europe could be a first step to global solidarity. Yeah?
Europa pues podría ser ese primer paso, ¿no? Para esa idea de una solidaridad global.
We are not on the goal of this, but Europe made first steps working together.
Eso, que sería pues eso, dar los primeros pasos en Europa.
And for example, we have this paper here, or here. I want to show this to you. This is an initiative I am involved to, and this is the European Credit Initiative. And we are talking about a new approach on money and economy. So, as a first step or as a path to global solidarity.
Es una iniciativa europea que bueno, lo tienes ahí en el folleto en castellano y es una primera iniciativa hacia esa solidaridad global. Es una iniciativa desde el punto de vista económico para plantear a las instituciones.
And I think we have to see both sides. We have to see the ecological side and we have to see the social side. But I think they all are connected in the question of profit and capitalism. But also statism was not the answer in history. We saw that the communism wasn't the answer of the question. So we need a new approach which connect these important questions in history, like solve the social question and also the ecological question, but with the free human being in the middle, deciding what to do. So, and this is what we, for example,
social y desde el punto de vista medioambiental, que al final puede tener alguna vinculación igual con el comunismo y tal, pero que se debe ir más allá, ¿no? Y que al final en el centro siempre que está el individuo libre con su capacidad de decisión. Y que bueno, luego vuelve a existir en la iniciativa esta clase.
For example, to make it, one more sentence, to make it concrete, we make the proposal that an economy working for the common good should have a free possibility to have credits, to be financed, to do the economic work without the profit motive. So if economy wants to work for the common good, they should have interest-free credit from our banking system.
Un ejemplo concreto que aparece ahí, que es plantea una iniciativa al Parlamento pues para la concesión de créditos, pero que la concesión de crédito fuera orientado al proyecto que se iba a hacer, no a sacar el mayor beneficio posible.
So
pensando más en el proyecto.
This is a concrete idea how we can renew something in our thinking and in our and we do it with a European Credit Initiative, so we do it on a democratic path.
Eso es, y plantean este cambio desde un punto de vista democrático porque es una de la iniciativa que te comentaba antes, la iniciativa legislativa que hay a nivel de la Unión Europea que plantea la ciudadanía, o sea que estás planteando un cambio pero siguiendo los cauces democráticos para solicitarlo.
So this is one idea. Probably there are more ideas.
Que esa es una idea, pero que habrá muchas más, ¿no? Pues que es la que se le ha ocurrido a él.
Or Sonia, do you have concrete ideas how we can vorwärts kommen? How to say? Go forward in the education question. Do you have some concrete ideas for Europe to go forward in the education question?
In the question, what? But only about European Union or about all the question we are talking about?
If you like to.
I think that in the education there are things that the people are doing in this moment, but they are not coordinated. Probably here in San Sebastian, many schools will be doing something very interesting about environment or about consumism. I don't know because I'm from Bilbao, and in Bilbao probably there will be a lot of schools that are doing things also very interesting, but they are like atoms. I don't know how to explain. Está como atomizado. Atomized.
Yeah.
There is a coordinated line, for example, from the local government to say we are working about environment, or we are going to work about the diffusion of what the European Union means. For example, last year we got to know that there was an initiative in the Spanish office of European Parliament called Escuelas Embajadoras del Parlamento Europeo.
Thank you.
Embassies of European Parliament in schools. And one person from the office in Barcelona, I think, came to Getxo, to my country, for a conference, and he told us that no school from the Basque Country has applied for this quiz, this program, because the local government, the Basque government, hasn't answered to its petition. O sea, nadie había contestado a la petición. O sea, le hicieron una convocatoria a todos los gobiernos autonómicos y del gobierno vasco no contestó nadie. Entonces no se había presentado ningún colegio del País Vasco a la iniciativa. And this is a very interesting initiative because the school that is in the program works about some matters related to the European Union, and at last in the final stage of the program the school is awarded as embassy of the European Parliament in its country, in its town. So we think it's a very interesting initiative for people get to know what European Union means. And moreover, the school where my children are studying is the only school in the Basque Country that is participating in this program, because I get to know of this and I explain to the teachers. And because of this year they are participating also in Euroscola. I don't know, no sé si lo conoces. It's a quiz from the European Parliament. So people in schools, I don't know the age, I think it's about 15, 16 years old. They are working during all the scholar time about matter related to the European Union. And the schools that are the best, they are going to Strasbourg in the European Parliament, in a session of the European Parliament, and talk about European matters with other people from other countries in Europe. So I think the problem is there is not a line, a coordination. So if everybody do what they want and when and where they want, it's impossible to make something solid in education. Suelta un rollo monumental.
But how can we get this coordination?
I don't know how. I think people in government should be more conscious about the importance of this, about the importance of environment, education and environment, fighting for no consumerism, and the cost of no Europe. I think it's important people to know what could happen here if the European Union doesn't exist. Que cómo se puede conseguir, pues eso, que haya una mayor coordinación.
So we can also hear to Spanish language.
Vale. Que yo decía que claro, que el problema a nivel educativo es que no hay una coordinación. O sea, que seguro que hay un montón de centros en Donosti que están haciendo un montón de cosas súper interesantes desde el punto de vista del medio ambiente, de luchar contra el consumismo, la Unión tal, y en Bilbao también, pero si cada uno hace lo que le da la gana y no hay una coordinación a nivel autonómico o estatal para que diga, no, mira, en el programa escolar vamos a hablar, se va a trabajar en la lucha por el medio ambiente o se va a trabajar en el no consumismo, que tenga un efecto más global, pues es imposible. Y le planteaba, pues eso, que el año pasado hicimos un evento en Getxo y vino un analista político del Parlamento Europeo a la oficina en Barcelona Y la sorpresa fue que tenían un programa que se llama Escuela Embajada del Parlamento Europeo y no se había presentado nadie de aquí porque el gobierno vasco ni había contestado. Y gracias a nosotros se presentó un colegio, que es el colegio de mis hijas, porque se lo dije, y gracias a eso ahora están participando en el concurso Euroescola, que es un concurso del Parlamento Europeo, y bueno, que es una manera de esto. Que me dice que cómo se puede conseguir la coordinación, y le digo pues que no tengo ni idea, pero que vamos, que deberían implicarse a nivel global.
Bueno, no sé, igual me he perdido un poco, pero yo quería plantear que, vale, las escuelas y eso, pues sí te tienen que informar de la Unión Europea y todo, pero lo que no se está sabiendo explicar a la ciudadanía, a las personas ya adultas, es todo este cambio global, que cómo nos está afectando. Y por eso están pasando los problemas que tenemos ahora de países que se están separando, de extremismos, de populismos, porque creo que la gente no está sabiendo entender que esto, si nos beneficia o no nos está beneficiando la Unión Europea o la globalización en general. Creo que la gente tiene miedo de lo que está pasando, que estamos perdiendo, que tendrían que saberlo explicar, así.
But not only young people, but also citizens in general are very lost about Europe, about globalization. They really don't know what is happening with all of this. And he says that authorities, governments should be able to explain better what is really happening now in the world.
But I think this is the question also of this European public sphere, the European publicity also, and I think the democracy question is also an education question. And probably we would need a European television station or something like this.
Que eso, que la cuestión educativa es también una cuestión democrática, que igual hay que hacer, pues no sé, un canal de televisión sobre Europa. But we have Euronews, and now what happened with Euronews?
Or for example, I would like to ask Caroline or Daniela, the European Citizens Initiative. It's a very
de la iniciativa ciudadana europea, que es la iniciativa legislativa que te he contado antes, que se puede presentar.
This is a process, this is a possibility for citizens to become active in their citizenship, to bring some new ideas to the public sphere of Europe.
Dice que es eso, que es la forma que tienen los ciudadanos de ser activos desde el punto de vista democrático y político, planteando iniciativas.
And there we have the same problem, that knowing each other, connecting each other, and there I think something will be better, or is starting to get better with the process of the European Citizens Initiative, also because of the activities from Democracy International. And so maybe one of you
me lo ha explicado un poco, son una organización que se llama Democracia Internacional y que bueno, va a explicar un poco lo que hacen. Que trabajan un poco en esa línea de la iniciativa que te
Citizens Initiative, it's amazing that it can even exist, that it exists, and you have this right as an EU citizen to collect 1 million signatures, and then the Commission, they have to review it. Will they make this a law? Do you want to translate?
Es que no oigo bien.
Oh, sorry. But the problem with the European Citizens Initiative is the problem that it comes down to is that the European Commission, who's making the laws, they don't want to give so much power to the citizen. So it comes down to things like this, where we have discussions like this, or where civil society lifts each other up, and it comes down to empowerment, where we need to find these citizens who are interested in these topics, and these environment questions, and these education topics, and we empower each other, because once we have the numbers, when we have that demand and that pressure on the politicians, then that's when we see change happen. But it's not just with small groups of 5, 6, 7 people, but you need really large numbers, because they look at this. They care about their re-election. They care. It's always numbers, money, re-election, the votes that they can get in. I think when you can come together with as many citizens as possible, and you either take the streets, or a lot of people write letters, or even something as simple as showing up to the ballot booth on election day, when it's European election day. If enough people go out, we don't have a good turnout right now in Europe. We need to really improve that turnout. We need more young people to get out and to vote in European elections. And once you get these numbers, then that's when you see change happen, because then politicians start to open their eyes, because suddenly their security is not so secure anymore, because then the citizens are standing up, and there's many more of us than there is of them. So I think the European Citizens Initiative is a great step towards that, because you can get 1 million people, and of course it's a long, year-long campaign, 1 million people, but there's 500 million citizens in the EU. And we can easily get 1 million, 2 million, 3, even more, that we can get together for one topic, something, an environment question, a water question, and that we can demand some action. And I think now that the European Citizens Initiative is seeing much more interest and much more discussion, the Commission is starting to make very small steps towards progress for that, because they're taking a step back and they see, oh wait, okay, citizens are interested in this, now there's suddenly the pressure that they have to act.
Vale, a ver cómo traduzco todo esto. A ver, lo voy a intentar resumir. Bueno, que la iniciativa ciudadana que plantea el Parlamento es parecida a lo que tenemos en España, la iniciativa legislativa popular, pero pide 1 millón de firmas. ¿Vale? Entonces, bueno, que es un primer paso, que está muy bien desde el punto de vista democrático, pero que hay que seguir trabajando. Primero, porque conseguir 1 millón de firmas no es fácil, aquí mira los que estamos, hay que implicar a muchísima más gente, y luego que somos muchísimos millones de personas en Europa. Entonces, para conseguir movilizar todas las iniciativas, si no me corriges, todas las iniciativas que puedan ser necesarias, por lo que hemos hablado, ¿no? Educación, medio ambiente y tal, pues que habría que mover a muchísima gente, ¿no? Más o menos es lo que venía a decir, ¿no? Más o menos.
And what proposals did Democracy International make the Citizens Initiative better?
Yeah, for example, there's some very simple ones. Just make it more user-friendly, the tool. Make it easier to collect those 1 million signatures. That's the first hurdle, that's the first challenge. But in the end, you will have nothing if you don't have a European Citizens Initiative, a tool that really has some political impact. Because citizens don't want to use it if they see that there will be no follow-up to their demands. So you lose already interest there, because you're working so hard for 1 year and then nothing comes out of it in the end. There's no commitment from the European Commission then to act on that. So this is our number one demand, that it needs to be much more politically impact. So we need a European Citizens Initiative which is strong, where the citizens' voices are really heard, where the demands, when they collect these 1 million signatures, that we can really see some law out of it, some really legal change from it. This is, I think, the most basic what we need is we demand a ECI tool that has political impact.
Lo que dice es que me está preguntando qué se puede hacer, ¿no? Y de que, bueno, que primero había que simplificar un poco el funcionamiento de la iniciativa, porque 1 millón de firmas es una pasada, entonces es muy difícil movilizar toda esa cantidad de firmas. Y luego decía, bueno, pues que también es complicado sensibilizar a la gente, que ellos por lo visto trabajan en la organización, pues eso, intentando generar varias iniciativas de este tipo para plantearlas a la Comisión y al Parlamento, pero que claro, luego la gente pues se desinfla, ¿no? O sea, es muy difícil mantener, o sea, implicar a la gente, atraerles para que se comprometan.
For me, the European Citizens Initiative is only the first step. It's a very important step. You said it's the only possibility to get heard in the European politics. But I think only making proposals or having an initiative is not enough democracy.
Yes.
We also need to decide at the end of a process. So we need a European-wide referendum which starts with an initiative from the people themselves. So this is when we decided for this credit initiative to use the European Citizens Initiative. Then we do this because we want to do it as a sovereign act of being a citizen of Europe. So everybody, every woman, every man who signed the Citizens Initiative act as a responsible member of our sovereignty, people's sovereignty in Europe. And this is only a first step. I think democracia real, is it correct in Spanish? Yeah? Real democracy
que la iniciativa legislativa, la iniciativa ciudadana, que está muy bien, que ese es el primer paso y que ellos, de hecho, lo que pone en el folleto pues que lo han lanzado así, pues la vía ordinaria, digamos, de intentar que algo que plantea la ciudadanía llegue realmente a las instituciones, pero que eso es el primer paso, que si realmente la participación de la ciudadanía en Europa se va a limitar únicamente a la iniciativa legislativa, pues que es muy pobre, que debería haber otras medidas de democracia real. Pues se estaba planteando pues eso, referéndums a nivel europeo y bueno, y otro tipo de ideas. The problem is what if you try to, for example, something about, similar to a referendum, for example here in Spain or in another country, the political parties, the national political parties try to, I don't know how to say, to fagocitar, I don't know how to say, que digo que quiero decir que los partidos, o sea, que si planteas una iniciativa europea aquí, un referéndum o lo que sea, al final los partidos políticos se lo barren para su casa e intentan sacar rendimiento a nivel nacional, o sea, que no hay un planteamiento, o sea, a ver, no hay una democracia real y no hay un planteamiento europeo de las cosas, o sea, eso se ve muy claro en los medios de comunicación, o sea, la culpa es de Bruselas, la culpa nunca es de Rajoy. Si la culpa tiene algo es Bruselas, o sea, no los países, o sea, es un planteamiento totalmente erróneo, o sea, no se informa adecuadamente, entonces, que alguna vez tendrá la culpa, ¿no? Pero siempre no, o sea, de hecho es lo contrario, por ejemplo, con lo de Puigdemont, lo de Alemania, o sea, la información en medios de comunicación ha sido penosa, porque realmente no le han dicho que no era culpa del delito de rebelión porque se le haya ocurrido, sino porque la normativa que se adoptó en su momento, la euroorden tiene unos delitos, unas infracciones tasadas, que si esas infracciones, no lo voy a poder traducir al inglés esto, si las infracciones están en esa normativa que aprobaba una serie de países, automáticamente el euroorden se activa, pero ya, no hay nada que discutir, pero todo lo que queda fuera de esas infracciones entra dentro del ordenamiento jurídico de cada estado. Entonces, el delito que estaba planteado en España no estaba en esa lista, con lo cual, al llegar a Alemania tuvo que analizarlo según su ordenamiento jurídico, o sea, analizar lo que se le planteaba en el Tribunal Supremo, creo que era, según el ordenamiento jurídico alemán. Entonces, tenía que encajar el hecho delictivo en algún delito de los que tenían su ordenamiento jurídico, o sea, no le han dado la patada por fastidiar a Rajoy, le han dado la patada porque han cumplido a rajatabla la normativa que está aprobada por todos los países. Lo que pasa es que eso no lo cuentan, porque no lo saben, o sea, entonces it's very difficult to explain this in English for me.
I don't know a lot about Puigdemont. I have to admit, she's talking about Catalonia and
I don't know many things about this, but last Tuesday we have a conference with a professor here in the Basque Country, in the University of Basque Country, and he was explaining this question, and it was very interesting.
This is a very important question. Maybe we should make on this question a last round.
Okay.
Catalonia question. But did you ask this question because I talk about
what
democracy?
What I wanted to say is that you, for example, try to make a referendum here in Spain.
Yeah.
The national political parties are going to try
hitchhike
that's right. That's the word.
Yeah.
So people here, politicians here, has not an European dimension of their actions. They are always thinking about in themselves. I don't know how to say it. So people here in general in Spain, and I don't know if in other countries, has not an European vision of their ordinary problems.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. Maybe you want to say something?
No, the problem is I don't know much about this, but yes, I agree that governments do what they want to and they don't care about the European Union or what the European Union says. If the European Union says something about it, which I don't know. I mean, the European Union exists and it's a union between countries, but apart from that, the European Union regulates, creates some rules, but does the European Union have rules? Like we have to follow?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but for example, the building code is different in every country. The political parties do what they want. Whatever pollution, I think it's regulated. But there are some standards which need to be met. But apart from that, then there is too much freedom for the governments and not for the citizens. Like, that's how I feel, or how I don't know.
Cool.
And maybe there is more freedom for the governments than for the citizens. If the citizens do a referendum, then the government...
I think the problem... Bueno, está hablando eso, ¿no? Que... Pues eso, que al final... perdón. Que se me ha ido la onda, no sé... Se me ha ido la onda.
Que...
Está hablando todo el rato.
A ver, es que tú antes has dicho que como que los gobiernos cogen todo para ellos mismos, ¿no?
Sí, o sea que al final es como lo de las pensiones, lo de las manifestaciones de las pensiones, los pensionistas han dicho a mí que no me vengan ni partidos ni sindicatos, esto es un tema mío, a mí que se larguen por ahí enseguida todos, arrimen el asco a las sardinas, ¿sabes? Esto me viene bien que son las elecciones el año que viene.
She's talking about pensions. The problem
we have here many mobilizations of the retired people because how do you say pension? Pensioners has only grown about ¿cuánto ha subido la pensión? No me acuerdo.
No sé, tengo un WhatsApp que me envían.
25%. It's misery. And so every Monday retired people have concentration in several cities in the Basque Country and in Spain. They don't want political parties nor syndicatos, how do you say syndicatos? Syndicatos, association of workers support their concentration because they think they are going to I don't know, to corrupt their mission, their objective, because finally the political parties only want to, they are only thinking in the next elections, in the next thing they are going to do. O sea, que digo eso, que al final los partidos no miran para ellos.
A ver.
Yo lo que pienso es que la Unión Europea se está quedando sin argumentos para decir si nos conviene o no nos conviene. Porque, por ejemplo, en el caso del Brexit no ha sido capaz de explicar a los ingleses que es más conveniente quedarse en Europa que irse. Entonces, a mí me parece que no tiene argumentos ya, que para el ciudadano de abajo Europa queda muy lejos porque a mí me va a juzgar un tribunal de aquí y no voy a poder acceder al tribunal de Estrasburgo. Y a nivel económico, los movimientos que se hacen en Europa nos están afectando aquí, pues en la ganadería, que yo puedo tener una explotación y quedarme sin ella porque ellos han hecho unos tratados de leche o mil cosas. No me quiero extender para que vean si lo del Brexit.
Sí, que that European Union cannot explain to citizens what they are really doing. For example, in Brexit, European Union couldn't explain to British citizens what could happen if they go out of the European Union. So citizens in general thinks European Union is something bureaucratic, an institutional thing, but they don't feel European Union as something near in their ordinary lives. I don't know.
We feel like the European Union is very far away. Because it's a global thing, so we feel more near to us our own government or our own country or whatever, but we don't feel like we are part of the European Union because, I mean, we do, but we have the euro and those things, but we, like he says, the main person here doesn't care about the European Union because it's like very far away from everything we know. And yeah, that's what she said.
No sé.
Sí, no ha venido a traducir un poco lo que has dicho.
No lo he entendido muy bien.
Sí, pero bueno,
No,
más
es
o
un
menos lo que has
resumen de
dicho
lo que has
tú,
dicho.
tú lo has resumido.
And for the Brexit, I think maybe the British people left the European Union because they were scared of having a crisis or something.
Sí, que igual se marcharon los ingleses por eso, que tenía miedo del Brexit, o sea, perdón, del Brexit, de la crisis o algo.
Because they have also another, well, they have the pound, they don't have the euro, and it's a different thing.
No tienen la libra, no tienen el euro.
Esto es menos problema que...
Pero la cuestión es que Europa no sabe explicar, no ha sabido explicar ni a los europeos ni a los ingleses por qué nos interesa estar en la Unión Europea.
The Europe didn't explain to us why we want to be in the European Union. I remember when I was in high school, they gave us a booklet about the European Union, and nobody read it because it was too long, and nobody cared. And it's like we are inside the European Union, but nobody told us what are the advantages of being in the European Union. Like we don't see it very clear. Also, like the British people didn't see it clear when they decided to leave. I think the European Union should explain more its citizens what they are doing, why they exist, and what is their purpose. That's what he said and what I agree with him too.
Eso, pero lo que dices tú, al final no explican nada, que te dan unos tochos ahí de puñetera la madre para
the day
leer,
after
y
Brexit,
la gente no se lo lee, entonces no,
on Google
no
it
explican.
spiked what is the EU in the UK.
Claro,
So it was
no
the day
explican.
after they voted to leave that citizens decided to Google what is the EU and how does
No
it
digo ni
work. And
torta, o sea.
I think this is the best way. They really need to do some. The EU really needs to do some public awareness campaigns about exactly what they do and how can you connect it back to the citizen. Because right now, like you say, the citizens feel that it's so far away and they think it's just something that goes on in Brussels. It's just a political or economic union, but it doesn't really have to do anything with me. And I think for example, a lot of UK citizens were shocked to know that that's an EU regulation and that's an EU standard. For example, that their chicken will not have chlorine in it. So something very simple like this, like food quality, that citizens now can connect themselves to because we consume it every day. I mean, we want to know what's in our food. And this is an EU standard. This is an EU regulation. And I think the EU needs to do a much better job of promoting themselves and that these are standards. We raise the standard of living for you because we have now these laws that the member states have to follow, these certain standards. And I think with things like this, like food or water or environment, that this is how you can connect the citizens back to the EU because these are EU regulations, but they raised the standard of living because of this. But right now it's we just think it's some political or economic union, but it's much more than that. It affects us down to our daily life and what we consume on a daily basis. So
maybe someone can you translate this a little
Dice
bit?
que la Unión Europea que lo que hace es poner unas normas y unos estándares, por ejemplo, para que el pollo no tenga no sé cuánto cloro o para que no se contamine más de no sé cuánto, y que eso está muy bien. O sea, que no es solamente una unión monetaria o económica, que también es unas leyes para que el estándar de vida sea decente, o sea, que esté bien, que esté aumentado de como estaba antes o algo así.
Pero yo pienso que la Unión Europea se está vendiendo, o nos están vendiendo aquí en la Unión Europea, como que todo es por la Unión Europea. Pero yo no creo que en China estén comiendo pollo con cloro o que en otros sitios estén. El mundo sigue para adelante, la economía mundial sigue para adelante y todos los países en Brasil, en Colombia, van para adelante y no están en la Unión Europea. Y aquí nos venden como que la Unión Europea es el no va más, es el único, y es el mundo el que va para adelante.
What? Can you translate?
Yes, that he says that the European Union is trying to tell everybody that all that we have here is because of the European Union, but all the countries in the world are growing up. He says that for him it's difficult to think that in China they are eating chicken with chloro, for example. It's difficult to think that in other countries that they are not in the European Union, food is awful and they have no regulation for healthy food and everything. So they think, he thinks that perhaps the European Union is lying us in that way.
Yes, I agree. for example, if European Union has so many standards, why do they still put fluoride in 2% of all the countries of the European Union in the public water? I'm obsessed with the public water, but
I think this is very important. This everyday life impact of the EU in our life. I think this is what you said, Daniela. But I think there is something else which is very special to Europe and which can be like a candlelight or like a light for the whole world. And probably this is also very important for identifying with Europe. This is the question you asked, what the people think what Europe is. And for example, we have had the French Revolution 230 years ago in 1789, and there have been these three concepts of these three big ideas of freedom, liberté, égalité, fraternité. Freedom, equality and brotherhood or solidarity or living together. And I think these three very big ideas are connected to each other. We are human beings and we have the impulse to live in a free way, to decide our own decisions. But if this freedom idea is too big, it works overall, for example, in the economy, it starts to be fighting each other. So in the economy we need the concept of solidarity, not of freedom. We need the freedom for our initiative. We need the freedom for the choice of where I want to work, what kind of things I want to be initiative in economy, for example, but not the freedom to have any profit for myself. For this we need the brotherhood or the solidarity. And for example, in our democracy or in front of the laws, we are all equal. We are equal to each other, deciding what we want in the democracy. So we need this. We need a discussion on these three big concepts, these three big ideas: freedom, equality, and solidarity in Europe. And I think this would be a very strong sign to China, for example, or to the other parts of the world, if Europe can have this understanding in the world. And I think, and then it's the question for us being responsible for Europe, not asking what the EU does for us, but we are Europe, we are responsible for Europe, and what are our ideas and what are the possibilities to get active, to become active. Yeah?
Está saliendo un poco del tema que has comentado. Dice que bueno, que sí, que igual sí puede ser igual, pero que bueno, que al final lo que nos define, nos diferencia es lo que ya se define en la Revolución Francesa, ¿no? Libertad, igualdad, fraternidad, esos tres elementos que forman un poco el bagaje europeo y que son un poco lo que nos diferencian de países pues como China o así, ¿no? Y que no solamente es el aspecto económico, sino ese bagaje que tenemos y el que nos representa y por el que tenemos que luchar todos juntos, ¿no? Pero bueno, no sé si igual tiene se sale un poco de la línea que estabas comentando tú.
Aquí ahora hay un caso en el País Vasco que por una pelea de bar se les está acusando a unas personas de terrorismo y se enfrentan a penas de 60 años. No sé si eso es libertad. ¿Qué hace la Unión Europea ahí? No,
pues que es claro, es un tema nacional, eso no. No, claro. He's talking that about equality and legality and fraternities. It's a question that it's difficult to understand here in the Basque Country, because, for example, in these days, some people is being judged because of a pelea, ¿cómo se dice? Fight in the tavern, as if they were terrorists. And they, ¿cuánto era? ¿Los años de cárcel? 60. They have been 2 years in the imprisoned, and there is probably that they could be 60 years in prison. So his question, what about justice? What that his questioning that where is justice? Where is the legality, the equality, and the fraternity in this matter? But perhaps this is not a question of European Union. This is a question in Spain. This European Union has nothing to do in this question, I think.
Like there was a fight in a bar, for example, it happened, and he's talking that some people, because of that fight, they were sentenced to jail 60 years. And it was just a fight, era solo una pelea hablada o cómo era, hubo golpes.
Una pelea, no sé lo que pasó.
Bueno, da igual. There was a fight, and then those people were sentenced to 60 years of jail. And he thinks that, tú piensas que esto no es ético, o que no es...
No, que dice que dónde está la justicia, cuando hay la justicia europea, pero claro, que es un tema que yo creo que no es de la Unión Europea, es un tema de...
He's wondering if the European Union has rules about the justice, about the legal... about the penalties and the prison sentences or something like that. If there is a jury okay. I also know someone who wrote with a marker and he was sentenced to jail. Somebody who went to my school. I don't know how long, but...
Que no llega la justicia. El ideal de Europa llega tarde.
He says that the Europe comes late. When those problems happen, Europe doesn't care. Like, no. Tú dices que Europa llega tarde, pero llega tarde porque...
No, porque probablemente dice que este asunto irá al Tribunal de Estrasburgo, pero cuando haya llegado igual ya llevan 6 años en la cárcel.
Claro. Entonces, he says that when they complain to Europe or to Strasbourg, when there is something that is not justice, or they consider justice, maybe it arrives to Europe 6 months after, or who cares? And they answer later.
Un ejemplo.
It's an example.
An example.
Bueno, vale, mucho.
Bueno.
We have now a 5:30, and probably will come to an end, and I would be interested, our guests under the dome, what do you think about this initiative? And probably you want to say something about it.
Bueno, que este primer turno del debate acaba ahora y cada vez que te parece, pues...
About what?
About our initiative, how you like it.
I like that you are asking us to express our opinions, and even though we need 1 million signatures to change something, I would like to ask also if those signatures can be done online or how?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I think it's a very good initiative because this way people can participate more with the European Union and yeah.
But this is a free initiative. We are
you're not from the oh, you're free. Yeah, you're from okay.
We're independent.
You're independent. Okay, great.
Pues a mí me ha parecido muy interesante porque me ha hecho pensar muchas cosas que ni me las planteo, en el día a día no te pones a pensar estas cosas, pero creo que son cosas muy importantes que tenemos que pensar y trabajar y seguir para adelante.
He thinks it's very interesting because this initiative has helped him to think about many things that because of the ordinary life he hasn't stopped to thinking about it.
And you, Sonia?
I think it's a very good initiative, so people can express their opinion, and I would like all these opinions could go to European institutions, so we have a real result, not only discussion but a real results of this.
What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to send it to European Union?
¿Qué van a hacer con todo esto? Con toda esta información, ¿qué van a hacer?
There are different ways. For example, we want to go forward with this dome talks.
Van a seguir haciendo más estas.
We also want to establish what we call a future archive. So we want to collect the ideas and the concepts and initiatives and prepare them and connect them on the website. We make the documentation for this, and also we want to probably like an excerpt of all our experience within the next 2 years or 1 year of Dome Talks, and make a publication, for example, or make a catalog which we bring to the EU officials and things like this. So helping, we cannot do this completely by our own, but we can help bring this European public sphere up. And I think public sphere cannot work with hundreds of people. It can work with, like we are here, 10 people, 20 people, but we have to spread these ideas.
O sea, quiere ampliarlo, pero no en plan que hagas una cúpula de estas con cientos de personas, porque es inviable, sino hacerlo así, pero más veces, o sea, ampliarlo, pero que se haga con más frecuencia, que sea como una especie de comunidad de debate. Ya se lo he traducido. I have already translated.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can take some of these papers, and in half an hour we will have, or in 40 minutes, we can have a next Dome Talk, and maybe some people can come in here. I don't know. Yesterday there were a lot of more people here on the place. Yesterday evening there were a lot of people here. But it is like it is, and we are. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Gracias, muchas gracias. Gracias.